Yeah, just a quick review of the BraceAbility hard plastic thumb splint. So this is a splint that you want to use in several cases. Why would you pick this particular one? Well, number one, it's made of hard plastic, which means it's going to give really rigid and firm support. But you can't mess around with like a cloth splint. I got to have this sucker, this joint, this thumb needs to be immobilized. I don't want hardly any motion, so you want to go for a splint like this. The other one is actually, because it's made of plastic, you can get it wet. So it's easy to dry off. So it's not like a cloth one where you might do some activities, you get the wet, it's going to take a while to dry out, you got to throw it in the dryer, then a lot of times they lose their elasticity and so on. So the other thing is this will immobilize several joints. Of course, your wrist, it'll help immobilize a little bit, but there's there's actually have 3 joints in your thumb. This one here at the end won't really do much for, but as far as the middle one and the bottom one is actually a good source of arthritis for a lot of people as they get older. And it's called CMC joint or carpal metacarpal joint arthritis. So it'll really do a good job of immobilizing this. So yeah, if you're looking for a waterproof, and if you're looking for something to give like a rigid, firm, definitive support, this is, I think, is a really good brace. So of course, the idea behind the brace is that it, supports the joint and it kind of restricts its motion. So that way these joints can kind of rest, recover, and they won't get overstressed if you're doing things. So you can use these for treatment and prevention. So if you've had, let's say, a thumb problem in the past, but it's doing fine, you might want to have to help a friend move over the weekend, or you've got to move some boxes. You want to put it on to prevent any further problems. If you have something like CMC joint arthritis, this is something that you can use to treat the pain because, arthritic joints, if, they get overstressed, then they become more painful. So this will help actually treat those conditions. Couple points about this particular brace. It is waterproof, like I said. It's plastic, but it's got good breathability, which I like. All these holes they put in it, very smart move. It also comes with this undersleeve to reduce irritation. So if you have sensitive skin and you put this on, it bothers your skin, it actually comes with a little cloth sleeve that you can put on under it, make it a lot more comfortable. So yeah, braces I think are good to treat and prevent problems. There's other things actually you can do for thumb problems. There's an example, the Healthy Thumb Handbook is where I'm getting some of these suggestions. So if you have problems in the joint, for instance, like say you have arthritis or you just aggravate your joint, maybe you have a hypermobile thumb joint, a lot of times, of course, you can get pain from the joint, but a lot of times the muscles react to what's going on in the joint. So not only your pain is a product of joint pain, there's also a muscular component to it. So you can get rid of the muscular component of your pain pretty easily by working these irritable spots that can develop called trigger points. So irritable muscles can develop these irritable spots called trigger points, and you can work those out pretty easily, actually. And then you get rid of the muscular component of your pain. And actually, sometimes the pain is all muscular. Like you could have a thumb joint that shows arthritis, but that doesn't mean the pain's coming from the joint just because it's arthritic. There's lots of studies showing that you can walk around with, say, asymptomatic knee arthritis. So you can have knee arthritis and no pain. I mean, that's set in the literature. But here again, iron out the muscular component. If you do have CMC joint arthritis, you're at risk for your web space getting tight, so it's good to stretch out the web space. If you have problems with the joints, you can also do a simple distraction technique. That's where you kind of pull gently on the joints. It looks something like this. And you gently distract all those joints. Distractions takes all the pressure off the joint, and so it's like a vacation for the joint, The joint's like, hey, the pressure's off, I can rest, recover, it doesn't become as painful. Good to stretch it out. And then, of course, getting stability. You want a good, stable joint. So particularly that bottom one takes a beating, and that's why there's a lot of people develop the CMC joint arthritis. This is your abductor pollicis longus muscle. As you can see, it attaches right to the base of the thumb at the CMC joint, so it provides good support to that. So if you lose a little bit of stability because of your arthritic joint, you can actually take up some of the slack by strengthening this muscle. Now, this book uses a rubber band for progressive resistance. And you do this exercise, it takes less than 2 minutes. You do it a couple times a week. And week by week, as your abductor pollicis longus gets stronger and stronger, you're going to get more stability in that joint. Plus, you're going to get more dynamic stability, meaning that as you move your thumb, you can control that motion better and keep the joint where it's supposed to be. And there's one other muscle called your first dorsal interossei. Same kind of thing attaches there. These exercises take less than 2 minutes. So the whole time you're taking maybe 5 minutes twice a week. 2 times a week is good enough to strengthen that muscle. So that's not much investment for getting a good stable joint and decreasing a lot of your pain. But yeah, nothing like putting on a brace. It's kind of instant, relief. You rested instantly. So yeah, it's a good little brace. Check it out.